Guys, what a time it is to be alive with AI in the mix of things. There are so many opportunities now to disrupt industries, and I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to help change the landscape of the real estate media industry alongside Matt at AutoHDR. When I first met Matt, there was an important reminder that he gave me, which is to bet on yourself. I told him how hard it was to build out AI photo editing for real estate media, how many other people have tried it, but he still said, hey, I'm gonna be the one that figures it out. And when I heard that, it reminded me that the times I won the most are the times I bet on myself. So it was a privilege to share the stage with other 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs at Jeremy's Inner Circle events. We're excited to give you a little sneak peek behind the scenes about our journey to scaling up.
You guys are on an absolute tear. I hope you guys have a chart that you put into this presentation of how up and to the right that bad boy is. Because I've seen a growth chart more severe than this that you put into that chat recently. But anyway, this is what technically you call it software, boys?
It's software.
It's a SaaS $1 million a month. When's the last time we gave a SaaS $1 million a month trophy out, huh? It's been a while. All right, well, without further ado, I want to just be clear on this one because this is a good story. I don't think that Brendan necessarily thought that this would be the one. Brendan's been in the Inner Circle for how long?
2 years almost.
At least 2 years. How long have you been a student of mine prior to that?
Since you were in Ty Lopez's thingy.
So like 2017?
Yeah.
Brendan's been in the game a while now. And it's been cool to see his growth as an entrepreneur over the years with all kinds of offers that he's had. He's been very consistent. He had a marketing agency for a while. He started to roll out some different services to help support the people that he was actively selling to, and I'd say that this is one of those services, huh? And this one ended up being the one that hit. So that's usually how it is. There's a lot of great stories in what we're about to hear from these guys. We got Brendan and his business partner here with us. Up on your feet, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big round of applause. We got AutoHDR for their $1 million a month trophy. Longtime Inner Circle members. Congratulations, boys.
I'm very excited to talk about AutoHDR today with Matt. We scaled from 0 to $1.3 million in around a year, fully bootstrapped, no funding, with an AI SaaS business. And so what is AutoHDR? You know the photos you see on Zillow? We edit a fuck ton of those photos. 200,000 images a day right now. We're responsible for editing close to 20% of all US listings. We are global. We do work in Australia, in the UK. There's adopters all over the place. And right now we have 3,000 paying clients and some clients that pay upwards of $15,000 a month to us and some clients that are just getting started with a free subscription, and then we sell them on the back end for $28.50. So Matt actually came to me for consulting because he knew I had a reputation in the industry. He's like, hey Brendan, I'm trying to get my business on autopilot. I'm like, no problem, I got you. And then I'm like, what's your why? He's like, I want to solve for a way bigger problem. I want to solve for photo editing with AI. And I'm like, you? He literally had just graduated college. I was like, this kid's not gonna solve for it. And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, I am. And I said, okay. I told him how hard it was, which is something I learned from Jeremy over and over again. You gotta like tell people how fucking hard it is because that qualifies them further. I said, hey dude, I've met people that have 2 million images, been working on this with a engineering and AI team for 5 years, and they're getting close, but they haven't solved for it. And he had just graduated college with a degree in machine learning, and I'm like, and he still said, I'm still gonna figure this out. And so I said, hey bro, I'm gonna bet on you. I just told you it's fucking hard. I told you you're gonna climb Mount Everest, and he's like, yeah, I am. And so we aligned from there. Matt focused on building, and I focused on setting the groundwork for a successful launch. With my authority, we were able to get early adopters, a lot of bigger agencies that believed in Matt and what he was working on, that were willing to provide him feedback to improve the product. And then we had a clear focus. Like he was focused on the product, and I was focused on marketing and helping position our brand to be the Apple of our industry. We collected them like infinity stones. We locked them all down. We're pretty much exclusive with all of them. And because of that, we've been able to garner over 50% of our revenue from these key partnerships. And so that goes back to the concept of leverage. You don't necessarily need to build the audience and run paid ads and pay for the audience to Meta or Google. You could pay someone else who has an amazing personal brand that already has the trust, more importantly, of the audience, and you can get that CAC down, right? Matt's gonna talk about the actual fucking grind that he had to do and his team had to get through to truly scale and be a product that sells itself.
Hell yeah. Thank you for the intro. Yeah, the last 18 months has been hell and awesome, where it's like 100+ hours of work every single week, obsession, not thinking about anything else, cutting out all obligations, responsibilities, things that consume focus. But yeah, fundamentally, Brendan catapulted the whole thing. I would never be able to build an audience that is even remotely close to what he's built in the real estate photography space in that timeline. Instead, it's like, let me, because my background is machine learning, AI, software engineering, I'll build the product. You've already secured the distribution. Has anyone here, did you even know that that was a market that people even pay for? Probably not, and there's an even more limited amount of distribution points, right? Like, who are you going to for marketing advice, right? Jeremy's one option. In real estate photography, there's like 5 mega influencers and then these software platforms. And so the goal from the get-go was, if we can get exclusive partnerships with all of them, it's impossible for anyone else to permeate that seal of distribution, right? Where even if you had the worst products, you'd have the best distribution. So we couple that with having the best product in the industry. But I want to talk about the actual software component, because realistically, that's where like 80+% of my time went, right? So you have to be obsessed with moats right now. Like, what is the moat around your product and your business? Because everything is becoming replicable. We're talking a lot about enterprise value, not like having to fight for every single sale, but fighting for the sale and then retaining it, having excellent delivery on the product that you're providing, and having LTV, having that customer for life. That's what is an actual business. But things have changed a lot, and I truly believe that in around a year or less, all of the IP of all these software companies is going to be completely worthless. The software, all the machine learning, open source models from a few companies, even now, are going to completely wipe out all of the value, even for us. But this is what's left. It's not going to be the tech. It's going to be the distribution, the network effects, data, and brand. And so, you know, I can talk about what's worked, but what has worked in the past is not going to work going forward. It's like what we were talking about earlier, swinging to the next vine. I can see exactly what that is. And so I know, like, you guys are not all in SaaS, right? You're selling info products, a lot of the audience here. And I think it's a really fucking exciting time to be doing that, because personal brand, community, and distribution just flipped to becoming more valuable than the intellectual property of the software that's being developed. That's incredible. If you have 1 million followers and people know you for you, it actually might have just gone from like a less sellable business to more of an asset, because that's irreplicable, whereas software is super replicable. So if you can kind of do what we did, where Brendan had his community, we just need a product to sell to it, and you get someone who can build the product, you have a community in a specific niche, that could be insanely valuable. That could be 10x the amount of LTV of whatever your info product is. So if you can find that person, make sure they're technically competent and high agency, I think that's a remarkable opportunity for a lot of people here. And then I'll go through quickly about like the actual scaling. This is a sales and marketing conference, right? So Brendan really carried a lot of weight up into 300K, like selling into his community. Sold the shit out of it. And then it was like, okay, we need to go beyond this initial community. How do we design the product, the marketing, and the sales to be able to add $1 million a month? Well, the product is very much product-led sales, right? So you drop in your photos. Our landing page is a drag and drop box. When I came here 6 months ago, somebody told me only have one call to action on your landing page. So I did that. I want them to edit photos, it's a drag and drop box. You get to see the result of the photos, which costs us money, but they get to see it, and then when they go to download it, it requires them to purchase credits, which they either do and become a customer, or they get on the free plan, use their credits again, and then have to buy, or if they claim free credits, they enter their info, and then we have a pure sales fallback, so nobody falls through the cracks, which required me scaling up a sales team. And so instead of overcomplicating it, I just stole someone else's process that worked. I'd recommend doing that. There's a scheduling software in our niche They literally sold scheduling to the same audience. The founder told me they cold called everyone in the industry, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna do the same thing. So got their sales manager for consulting, took their scripts, catered it to our audience. We do a two-call approach. Cold call, get past the gatekeeper, get to the decision maker, set a demo. You're not trying to sell on the set, close on the demo. Simple, high velocity. And we are obsessed with process. We don't go off script because it's not scalable if you don't know what your metrics are. And if not everyone's following the same process, you don't know what is causing those metrics and you can't improve them, right? And so the other thing here that was so important was hiring those people. I don't care about experience. I don't care about literally anything else. I've hired high schoolers who came and crushed it and were at the top of the stack rank because of two traits, hardworkingness and coachability. If you can work hard, that's the main thing. If you're coachable, you can learn a script, you can fucking sell. And those kids just crush. Someone else was saying, just 10x what's working. I've not run a single paid ad. It's been affiliates. We have like 20 affiliate posts a week. And so what we're gonna try and do is just get to 200. Why can't we 10x it? So what we built out is a custom program where we can send off bounties programmatically every week with a new feature. It gives the affiliates the ability to earn that amount of money. They get a revenue share. They're existing customers, so they can submit posts and get discounts. And it's like, incentivize the hell out of everyone, gamify it, put into a competition, remove friction, and just get better and better and better at what you're already doing. I'm not even looking at any other forms of distribution until I've maximized this one, which we've not, because we don't have 200 people posting. And then last tip, people for AI products right now don't care about like value prop, talking head content, all that does okay, but what goes viral and gets insane traction, people just want to see AI working. So here's our product, it's someone shooting the photos and then it getting edited right away. There's me just prompting Veo 3 and it gets like 700,000 views, no effort, no scripting. They just want to see it working, and then you can do a ManyChat funnel and that works insanely well. So yeah, those are the primary learnings. That's how we did it. And then I think doing more volume, we can get the next mil a month like 3x faster. So yeah, thank you.
So as you can see, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes on scaling a software company. Now we have a team of engineers, customer service reps, people in business development and marketing and sales. We have people leading our partnerships on the front and aligning with some of the best in the industry. And we have two amazing co-founders, Matt and Dan, that work tirelessly. They work around the clock trying to drive us to becoming that next unicorn in real estate media. I like to say, we already are in many ways, but we're trying to continue staying at the forefront. And we're excited to continue partnering with the best in the industry. Very blessed to have my team at ACRE partner, driving content, driving momentum behind the AutoHDR wave. And we're excited to be putting on other amazing industry leaders with more events and more product launches. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you like this type of content. We're excited to get you more.